Hello and welcome to another exciting scene of the Dublin venue of Mage. Now, what we have here is our exciting Super Sentai rider, but now he is in his other altered ego or personality, who knows, as Kato Musashi. He is in the Green Dragon and he is quietly, basically, at a table, a big table where everybody can. Sit down and join him, and he is basically waiting for people to arrive. He is drinking tea and eating some rice a little bit, you know and I will let everybody else introduce themselves into the scene.
Georgie walks in, orders a whiskey, goes to sit at the bar. Next.
I suppose we'll let Cassidy come in now. She goes up or gets a water and goes to sit down kind of by herself. She doesn't particularly feel like socializing, but she will if she has to. Liam, Jason, one of you introduce your character.
Once Cassidy has sat down, you'll see one Damien Wolf come in. Pale fellow, Nordic complexion. He seems to have a bundle of something. It looks a bit like a blanket, black, under his arm. He goes to the bar, gets himself a cider, grabs a chair at a different table, sits down, has a bit of a drink, and unfurls what turns out to be a black woolen cloak that looks roughly like this. And starts sewing red leather rectangles onto the thing, occasionally having a sip.
Douglas is at a bit further near the back, and he just has this table set covered in the weirdest fucking foods imaginable, and him just looking amazed.
He literally walked in and said, "Give me X, Y, Z," just to see if they do it, didn't he?
Yes, he did. He's seeing what weird shit he can order.
So in front of him, you will see a motley collection of fugu, roasted elephant, braised camel with soyshen sauce, haskrat, haskrat hummus, and a motley collection of various different undersea eels that have been lightly seared and baked in brandy. There you go.
This is fucking weird. I love
So
it.
at this,
Get
So
catch Cassidy's attention.
so at this point, Kato is going to get up, and basically said, looks around and smiles and said, "So take it that everyone heard about my recent announcement of forming Cabal."
A what?
Forming a group, like together,
I'm new here.
He's new to this.
Of course.
Cassidy would
How
go
about
over and sit down next to Douglas.
No, I say exactly what Douglas will say, but I'm already in a band. There you go.
But how about we all just if you're interested, how about you all just I'll help you carry your food over here and whatnot, and we all sit around and we talk and whatnot.
Oh, you can all feel free at this weird pick and mix.
Is that roasted eel?
Apparently so.
I won't say no to that. And Damien grabs his chair and moves over to Douglas.
Cassidy gets a veggie burger from the bar and then moves over there.
Georgie is staying at the bar because there's whiskey, and the whiskey's good, and that's like enough grains. That's all she needs. But
Actually,
she'll look at. Oh,
hang on, I have to say something because Theodis may or may not have done something.
motherfucker! What has he done?
Every time Georgie orders alcohol, she gets either water, a soft drink, or juice.
No!
Oh dear.
Yep.
She'll take a sip because it sure looks like whiskey, especially if you're not looking close enough. So she takes a sip. Her eyes grow wide, and she just sprays it over the bar. Looks at it. Apple juice. What the fuck?
I know
It's the same every time we order alcohol.
I know you might be a little bit annoyed, but that's not very hygienic.
I don't care. What the fuck? Fine. And she'll order another drink, and of course, then this will happen 5 drinks in. So
Damien stands up, walks over, and gives her the small glass container from the previous scene, which has got high spirit alcohol in it, and he just sort of like, you look as if you need it, and offers it to Georgie.
the shit I've seen today, and unfortunately, I mean literally, I didn't know someone could shit that high.
Oh,
Oh, thank you. And she'll take a sip.
and Damien
That
walks
is-
back.
That is some delicious grapefruit juice.
Mm. Damien, and she'll toss the flask back.
He tries to catch it.
Just taste that.
Damien takes a swig.
That is whatever alcohol is in that flask.
Probably some high potence whiskey, and he goes, this is whiskey.
That's grapefruit juice.
Can't be. And he tries again.
That's definitely whiskey.
No, this is definitely whiskey. I'm not pulling your leg here. Oh,
I swear.
We are mages. It is possible that someone is trying to
Cursed
hint
you,
that she
maybe?
shouldn't be drinking.
I was gonna say considering we're in a world where the laws of physics are more the laws like the
Suggestions?
options of physics. I'm surprised surprised.
Who
By the way, would you like some
Any-
meal?
Anywho, we have a table full of delectable foods over here that good friend right here supplied, and I was hoping we can get on with the conversation that I had in mind if people are interested.
Yeah, sure. You know what, Georgie? In a bit, I'll check if somebody has put a curse on you. But I think Kato has a point. Let's distract ourselves for a bit.
I mean, you guys can go ahead. I'm already in a cabal, so.
Oh, who are you in a cabal with?
Minnie and Isaac. I know,
All
it's
right.
sort of a questionable decision. That's why we called our cabal that way. Yeah.
I'm not here to question it or not. I just said, oh, cool.
So you guys go ahead. I'm gonna go down the store and actually buy a bottle of whiskey because, for fuck's sakes.
Good hunting, I guess.
Thanks.
As you make to leave, you will see this woman enter into the bar. She has her hands tightly clasped behind her back. If any of you have met D'Onofrio, it is D'Onofrio. Also, she has trailing behind her another young woman who looks like this.
Aww.
Does anyone else suddenly feel really dizzy?
No,
Nope,
not
but
really.
nope. So
Just me.
I
I'm
want to.
glad
That's
that
why I need the alcohol.
You're having
Sorry,
a
Kato.
backflash, man.
So she walks into the bar, and she looks around with those brilliant golden eyes of hers. As they fall on Georgie as she walks towards the door, because obviously she's the nearest person to her, and she says, "I don't know your face."
I don't know yours either. Hi, I'm Georgie.
Oh, you're the one Theodis had me. Yes, pleasure to meet you. She extends her hand.
Georgie raises an eyebrow, but will take the hands. What's
Is
with
she-
Theodos?
Oh, that you had a bit of a drinking problem, and so he
I
asked.
have no drinking problem.
Well, now you don't, considering you won't be able to touch alcohol.
I'm gonna murder that son of a bitch.
Please don't murder my apprentice.
I mean, I probably won't, but uh, why would you go along with that? I don't have a drinking problem.
I mean, now you have a drinking solution.
No, I have no drinking solution because I don't have any drinks.
That's a solution to the drinking problem,
There was no problem.
according to you.
Well, I tend to be the expert on me.
Really? Can you truly say that you know yourself?
I'm not really in the mood for you know, psychological debates.
Hi. My name is Hope. She kind of waves absentmindedly.
Uh, Hi, I'm Georgie.
It's nice to meet you, Georgie.
It's really a bad time to meet me, actually, but I'm sorry for you. Uh, yeah,
I find that every new person, regardless of who they are or the path that they've taken, have something new and interesting to bring to life, so it's always happy to meet a new face.
that's cool. And rather fitting to your name. There's a lot of cool people right over there, and they have a lot of interesting food. That might be my um interesting fact for the day.
Well, it's still been very nice to meet you.
Uh,
As you start talking to her, you don't really feel the need to drink anymore. It kind of like melts away.
huh. Okay. She just, sighs and says, "Well, fuck it, I'll stick to 7 Up then."
Oh, hello everyone. Sorry if I've interrupted your meeting.
Nope, it's okay. It's fine.
Well, considering this is my bar, they're kind of having their meeting here because I'm letting them have it, but that's neither here nor there. So, who here? Ha! Mr. Carrion, the last time I saw you, you puked on the floor.
Please don't hurt me.
What did Carrion do again to make her spin you?
He said all hermetics were boring.
Oh!
Oh,
Mm. Saying that in front of the Master of Forces and Correspondence, that'll go well for everyone involved.
He meant it sarcastically, but that didn't really help.
She walks up and she claps you on the shoulder and she says, "Not very boring now, am I, Starshine?"
No.
She kisses you on the forehead, leaving the lipstick.
Did you really, Douglas?
Did I what?
You called her boring. I mean, she could have
No.
done a lot worse.
Not her.
No, he said all hermetics.
No. I mean, you count as a hermetic, I should hope.
Allow me to introduce myself. Alexander D'Onofrio, Magister of the Order of Hermes, parens et parentium to several of the mages within the city, and incredibly thirsty and now going to get a ridiculous amount of alcohol because I admit I have a drinking problem, but I also don't care.
really?
lifts his cider and has a drink at that.
I suppose it's not really a problem when you can just hand wave him your liver back into shape.
You're not wrong.
They checked my liver. It was
Shockingly,
splendid.
George. Exactly. Her liver's actually in better condition than most.
Georgie will high five Cassidy at that point. Here, here.
Doesn't mean I approve, but
Oh. Party pooper. So, D'Onofrio?
Enough.
D'Onofrio. How am I going to undo this thing that you've did because Theod has asked you?
Ah, no, it'll wear off itself in about a year and a day.
What? Okay, any way to speed up the process?
Go to sleep for a year and a day?
Georgie, looks like she is actually considering that. Is that a thing?
It can be.
I'll think about that.
He just kind of looks down. Is that crazy?
Huh?
Mr. Carrot, did you order braised camel?
I ordered a lot of things.
I love braised camel.
Help yourself.
I will. At which point she snaps her fingers. Hey, Douglas. How's it going?
Yes.
You may be falling again.
Oh no!
Okay, so for all of you, have you ever experienced the portal effect, whereby a portal is put underneath you and there's a portal above you from the game portal, and you just kind of loop?
Yes.
Douglas is currently experiencing this about 5 feet away from you guys. Literally,
Evan,
no, not this again.
Evan, what?
Huh?
Does my code of honor count on this?
I mean, not really.
Okay, good.
She's not actually, she's more so fucking with him.
I can smell colors.
I mean, you're an ecstatic. Of course you can smell colors. Duh.
Oh, we'll let Theodis join us. Hi, Theodis.
Hmm.
A wild voodoo appears. So that Bishop, that is sleeping Wooloo. It must be awake Wooloo.
That has the ability code.
Yes.
Now it's fine.
Cassidy must be able to pet the Wooloo.
By the way, Cassidy, you now have a 3-dot familiar in the form of a Marip.
Oh my god, I can use the picture.
Okay, we now have the meeting of the 2 familiars.
Boom. Got him.
That is exactly what it looks like.
By the way, I can barely hear you, Bishop.
It's fine. I'm quiet.
I still object to Marip having little feet.
But look how cute its little feet are.
But it should have, it should have little hooves.
It's got the cutest feet, Evan.
Little hooves. But yes, I sense that you're about to be yelled at by an irate Georgie as you enter into the establishment.
That's okay, because gym leader Theodis wants the battle.
Cassidy is probably holding her familiar.
Marip.
Georgie is just kind of... Go on.
No, it's fine. I'm just getting the Marip sounds.
So,
By the way, on the side note,
yeah.
sorry, just 1 second, just the, I just have to put out, not Theodis, Douglas, she didn't actually drop you to the floor, don't worry.
That's good.
Continue what you were saying, Damon.
With all this chaos going on, Kale's just looking like, oh, so, yeah. He'll basically reach into, like, basically, he usually have his helmet clipped on. He'll basically put the helmet on the table, even though it's still cracked from the previous Saw Blade battle. He'll be like, so, me and Sunrider was thinking about getting a team together.
Do you Dilofri kind of looks at you, looks at the helmet, looks at you. Do you have a legitimate Power Ranger fetish?
No, I'm actually a hero. Well, I'm not the hero, but Sunrider is.
So you have split personality disorder and the Power Ranger fetish.
And now you
Uh,
see why I'm drinking?
Not really. I mean, like, I don't fantasize about it. I mean, Sunrider is an actual hero. I'm just, guy that tags along. That's all.
Right.
Yep. So, anyway, so me and Sunrider was thinking about, forming a team because, I mean, yeah, it's good, it's dandy, you go out by yourself and do stuff. But usually when people of our kind go out and do stuff and we're not like we're not like a badass like her, and he'll point at basically the white-haired lady, like we're not like a badass like her, we tend to get into trouble. And that trouble seems to be way over our heads at times. Why not we just do it together? When we face an obstacle head on, we do it together. Because I mean, open, he'll basically put out his palm, and then start slowly closing his fingers, like forming a fist. A fist is better than no fist at all.
Unless you're trying to tie your shoelaces.
Unless you're trying to tie your shoelaces, where you need you need some of your fingers for that. But anyways, yeah, I mean, I want to form a team. And before, I forgot, I should have introduced myself. My name is Kato Musashi. I am from the Brotherhood of Akashics, and this is basically my friend and trusted partner, Sunrider. And he'll hold up his helmet. I mean, any thoughts, anything you would like to know about,
As you say that, a man and a fluffy sheep shall walk into. I assume it's the Green Dragon we're at.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'll walk into the Green Dragon just behind you.
There is a moment where the Wooloo sees the Mareep, and the Mareep sees the Wooloo. The Mareep starts to struggle against Cassidy's grip.
She would then just kind of set him down. There you go. Go on.
The two of them kind of just sit in the center of the room, just next to each other, seeming to be happy, as if they complete one another.
They do. Look at them. Look at how cute they are. We just go, oh, you have a sheep too. When did you get...
I don't know. It just showed up.
Oh, that's lovely.
Kind of like yours.
Yes, he's very, very, very fetching. Although I sense a hint of static in the air. Oh, hello, friendly, shirtless stranger.
Sorry about that. I just got back from training and whatnot. But what's up? Name's Kato.
Theodos.
Ah, yes, Theodus Crane.
Nice to meet you. You're just in time for to come to my meeting. No, well, soon to be formation of the team.
Interesting.
If you're interested.
Good afternoon.
Nope, she'll shut up when D'Onofrio is talking. If he was the one talking.
Oh, she just said good afternoon, apprentice.
Master D'Onofrio, good to see you again.
I assume you're doing well.
For now.
I believe this young woman is about to have a violent confrontation with you.
I have recorded a significant upsurge in violent confrontations ever since my awakening, so this does not surprise me.
Ah, excellent.
I figured you'd be happy.
Georgie, let rip.
Theodis, what the fuck? Seriously.
What the who now? Wait, what?
Why? Just why?
Why? Tilthead?
Have you ever tried to get just a normal, simple, regular whiskey and it ends up being apple juice? Then try a better whiskey, it becomes grapefruit juice. Grape fucking fruit juice. How the fuck am I supposed to live like this?
Holy shit. How did I not have this idea?
You did. If it helps, D'Onofrio says. You mentioned to me that she needed help, that this Georgie girl was nice, but she needed help with her alcohol. I gave her help.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
I appreciate that.
Thank you.
And now fucking turn it back or something. Jeez. It's my life, it's my liver, and if I want to fuck it up, then I fuck it up.
Essentially, all alcohol that she touches for the next year and a day will become fruit juice.
Oh. Well, that's
fucked up.
That's only one way to kick an addiction, I suppose.
Theodis, you better stop this.
Wait, how am I meant to stop it?
I don't care. You're the one who got the fucking idea in the first place. Why would you mess with lives like that? I'm not messing with your life.
I literally didn't do anything other than discuss.
My fucking days are spent looking up Lord Sideshow's toilets. There's literal shit that I'm dealing with. When I'm done with work, I want to fucking unwind, okay?
Why do you continue cleaning Lord Sideshow's toilets then, if you don't enjoy them?
Have you ever seen someone enjoying cleaning toilets, yet they need to be clean? And if my master asks me something, I will damn do it.
As an apprentice, and he just kind of swivels to D'Onofrio, I'm not sure I've been remotely as cooperative.
I wouldn't ask you to clean toilets. As I said, I wouldn't ask you to clean toilets.
I mean, I also get paid for cleaning the bloody toilets.
Oh, so you're a janitor.
No.
Oh wait, no, that does actually sound very much like a janitorial role.
No, I'm not a fucking janitor.
Well, I mean, before I thought you were an unpaid janitor, but now you're a paid one, so...
Jesus, Theodis, you're not making this any better. Why would I not smack your head in right now?
Has SciShow actually taught you anything in the last few months?
Looks at Evan.
If it helps, the answer to that is no. He's been busy with his new apprentice. He has a new apprentice. A woman who came in from Japan.
So,
who may, or may not be a friend of one of you. Hi, Kato.
Oh.
Georgie kind of shrugs. She says, I'm sure there's a meaning, a deeper meaning that I don't understand about cleaning up shit.
So he hasn't been doing his part of the job, which would be teaching you. Oh dear.
Look, it doesn't matter. It has nothing to do with the point that after work, I just want to have my whiskey.
If it helps, I'm very pro-union.
I'm very pro Jack Daniels. Because it's cheap. Doesn't actually taste that good.
Well, then why have it?
I can't, because if I drink it, it's apple juice.
Well, apple juice seems a lot more tasty anyway.
Applejack is a My Little Pony, for God's sakes.
Oh, I like apple juice.
I'm also a fan of apple juice.
Same. Prefer it to alcohol.
Does the alcohol perchance turn into higher quality apple juice? Master D'Onofrio?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yes,
I
it
mean,
does.
I feel like this is a remarkably profitable exchange then.
No, it's not.
She is bothered because someone has taken her agency. A lot of people don't like that.
Thank you, Damien, for explaining that in words that I can fucking not right now.
You're welcome.
But isn't an
Choice is
addiction...
an illusion. Free will is an illusion.
I mean, this fucking world is an illusion. That doesn't mean that I won't have my shit-faced alcohol time.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it an illusion. I can tangibly change it, but that's neither here nor there, I suppose. I'm not going to get
That
into
just
this.
kind
I
of
shouldn't have
proves
said
the
that.
fucking point.
Right. But... So, you're mad about your agency being removed, but... the fact that you're under a physical compulsion means that your agency was never there to begin with.
I choose to be under that physical compulsion.
That's
Wow.
that's
When
not
did
how
my
addiction
meeting
works.
become an intervention for somebody?
Sorry, Kato. I just want them to undo what they did.
No.
I mean, you can get hacked, can you?
It's not the same.
Why isn't it just saying why alcohol?
Because it's cheap and it's easily available.
And legal.
And that.
Alcohol's cheap for you?
Depends on the stuff that you're buying. Really. I didn't say it was pretty. I said it was cheap.
D'Onofrio raises an eyebrow, and she picks up one of the glasses from the table, that's full of water, and she says a word in Enochian, which literally means change for any of you who can understand it. And she moves her hand over the glass, and as she brings it down, the glass is now filled with either red wine or possibly blood. That is one of the simplest little cantrips I know. Ultimately, what you have is not necessarily what you you will have at the end. Magic, yo. At which point she moves her hand again and it turns back to water, and she places it back down on the table.
Well, Theodis, go ahead. Conjure me whiskey that I can actually drink.
Can Venus even do that in Adder 2?
Yeah, magic you can change one liquid into another.
Wait, why am I supposed to change?
Because you fucked it up in the first
Anyway.
place. Now you'll be my enabler.
I need to step out, as I said I would do, guys. Enjoy the rest of your scene.
Thank you.
If it helps,
Farewell.
the Mulu and the Marie seem to be enjoying each other's company.
Yes, they are like this now.
Damien is making a sketch of the two. They are just too adorable.
They are adorable. Wait, why should I be your enabler again?
Because you're the one who took it away in the first place. Own up to your mistakes.
Why is it a mistake?
Kato will go to the bathroom.
Are you... I don't see why I should enable a
Because you're
purpose that is...
disabled.
Yes, I disabled a purpose or an action that was inherently self-destructive.
It's not yourself that gets destructive. Or destructed, or whatever. Like, why do you even care?
Normally I don't. But I don't really like seeing people giving into their worst impulses.
Trust me, this is not my worst impulse. My worst impulse right now is punching you in the face.
When he says worst impulses, Douglas is just going to look at the table covered in random food.
Douglas, are you stress eating?
No, I was just wondering what I could order.
Oh,
They do roasted elephant.
He was literally just curious about what all he could order, what craziness he could have them create.
Christ, you're all as bad as me. Well,
On that matter, would anyone like some hummus?
That I will take.
no, thank you.
Damien will be grabbing a piece of bread and trying with, while still sketching with one hand, the two adorable sheep creatures. He'll try, without looking, to get some hummus on the bread.
So out
He's
the
really
bathroom.
engrossed in that sketch.
So out the bathroom, y'all hear it clunk, clunk, clunk. As basically you see this individual come out the bathroom. You know, half his face is showing. Still Kato's, but still it's a different demeanor. The demeanor is more stoic, but more straightforward. And he'll look around. I see Kato gathered those around for what we was talking about.
And this is why I drink.
Really, I thought this is why Kato would drink.
He just kind of lifts an eyebrow.
So as you know,
this is why I stopped asking questions.
That's Sunrider, if anyone was wondering. And Damien finally stopped sketching and is actually looking at the Super Sentai kind of guy.
So as you all came here, Kato probably explained a little bit in minimum details of why I wanted to form a team, a cabal, as you say. My goal is to protect the city and those within it. Ultimately, helping our brothers and sisters of those who dove into the true magics. We have a responsibility with one another. We have trust. We should have trust within one another. Forming this team will be the first line of defense against those who may threaten it, and also be able to solve problems that may come within the city. We may not have strength in one area, but we make up because someone will have strength in that area. We make up for our weaknesses. I may be Sunrider, but I do have weaknesses. And I would like to have somebody watching my back, me and Kato's back.
No one entity is undefeatable.
What did he say? My bad.
Oh, he will simply say, no one entity is undefeatable. even though many seem as such.
Except maybe Merlin.
That's why we all will come together. As Kato eloquently put it, we'll become a fist.
To your eye, Cassidy, maybe.
What about Superman?
He,
Kryptonite.
I could, to be honest, any undead of matter could actually trivially kill Superman.
Even in the latest issue?
Please let us get back to the subject at hand, please.
Have you even asked if they're interested?
That's what we're doing right now. Before we was having a, your, quote unquote problem.
That's not a quote unquote problem, but hey, whatever.
That
It's
is
fine.
you. I have more important tasks to do. And he'll turn back around. So, fellow brothers and sisters of the True Magics, just wondering, would you all be willing to join such a noble effort? Not only will we grow together, we will learn together, we will cry together, we will grow as individuals, but we will be as one.
You're also a member of the Akashic Brotherhood, right?
Yes.
Could that cause any conflicts of interest, as far
No.
as you can see?
Me and Kato went in great length and details about that.
Not sure I could be in a cabal with someone who serves a monster like him.
Lord Sisho being cited as the biggest divisive topic.
He may be my master. I may learn under him, but that doesn't mean that I am just Lord Saicho's lapdog.
And he's
I-
not a monster. I
No,
will
but
take
learning.
for that.
He's a human trafficker.
In due time, those who do wrong will get their comeuppance. But for now, I'm focused on.
Have you guys ever considered that maybe he does that because the world needs that?
Yes, the world needs someone to sell human beings to one another.
That it definitely doesn't. And the world doesn't need someone who just bends the minds of the people that he's supposed to be teaching under them just because he feels like it.
I've never seen him do that. Like,
Well,
where do
of
you get your
course,
information from?
that I was there. I saw him do that. Your behavior changed like that suddenly. From the moment of having righteous anger to just as if everything had been forgotten, and then just I hardly want to say the words.
Look, I don't know what you're talking about.
There's a time, there's a place, and there's a season for all things.
True.
When it's time, what are you about to say?
Patience is a strength and a virtue.
When it's time for the great hand of justice to be swiftly done, it shall be done to those who deserve it. If Lord Sisho is within this grasp of the justice, it will be dealt. He will be dealt with. But until then, as Mr. Theodis says, patience is virtue. For now, we look to the now.
Whatever. Yeah.
Any one of us has the complete freedom to throw themselves at Lord Sisho if they wish. But I will be blunt, I will not mourn the deaths of those who do, for there will be lives wasted and thrown away.
There's no point just going there and having yourself turned into a red swipe on the wall.
I
You
mean,
know, patience
Or
Try it.
will
having
bring
your
it.
mind rewritten.
Exactly. That's why
It's
I'm
not,
trying to stay away from that guy.
it's not recommended for your health.
If you want
And
to
you
try
will
and
not.
defeat him, first try and defeat me, and then try and defeat Sunrider. If you can't do that, don't even bother.
I can wait.
Until then, we'll not have to worry about. You will not have to worry about him. It will be us on the field together, watching each other's backs. You have my word. You have Kato's word.
Well, one thing I would like to say, if that's all right with you, and then I'll shut up about this. I honestly, I mean, obviously, I care about you guys' opinions. You're kind of my peers in that regard. But I would really prefer if you would refrain from, insulting Lord Sideshow, at least where I'm present. That would be nice. And I know I don't deserve nice, but hey, whatever.
I'm actually inclined to agree here. These
That is understandable. We serve under the same. We serve under the same master.
these are, if I may be blunt, every criticism I have heard, regardless of how valid or ethical or whatever it may be called, are ultimately empty. No accountability, action, no, nothing will come from these criticisms. If one wishes to discuss it in private or personally, then by all means, but this just increases tension without purpose.
And purpose is what we'll have. Purpose is not focusing on that. That needs to be right now. Focused. This purpose is the purpose we need to be doing out there. As he'll point outside, out there on the streets, making sure our brothers and sisters of the true magics is safe. Making sure that whatever task that needs to be done, may it be talking to a spirit, trying to understand why it's in pain, or dealing with spirits, or doing whatever what needs to be done in both the mundane and also magic world. Together, I feel like we can accomplish this. Together, I feel like we can make a difference. Together, we can ride out the dawn that may be frightful for others. Together, we can all be the riders of the dawn.
I'm interested in the acquisition of knowledge, not necessarily in playing hero, then again.
Which can be done. Theaters, we may need your brains out there. We may need your knowledge. You may have knowledge that we don't know about that will be helpful in the field. Each and every one of you will be useful.
I was just about to say, I'm not interested in playing hero, but then again, I could easily be considered to have done such on several occasions, so perhaps this is simply rank hypocrisy from me.
A hero do by action, and sometimes the action is sometimes researching about a particular lore, spell, or creature. With that, it'll give us aid, give us knowledge, and we can tackle this together.
Maybe, as you can see, your skills might complement mine. I'm not exactly the most physically able of creatures. For the record, he walks with a cane and he has a very distinct limp. He actually puts quite a lot of, you can tell by the way he stands, he puts a lot of weight on his cane and not in his legs. Like both of them. Like he doesn't use like one leg, it's clearly like there's something wrong with both of his legs.
Do not worry. If heavy lifting needs to be done, that's why you have the Fist of Sunrider to give aid, to help. So I ask each and every one of you, are you interested? Are you willing to do your part to help one another, to give aid?
Hmm. I believe I'm already doing my part, but I'll definitely consider it. I'll need some time to think it over.
Of course.
My apologies if I do decline.
It is quite all right. What say the rest of you all?
We could always use a bard to complement our troop. Mr. Carrion. Theodis kind of chuckles.
Are we literally turning into a D&D group?
Oh,
Yeah.
You ruined it by explaining the joke. I'm appalled, Jason. Appalled.
Who is this Jason you speak of?
Oh, God damn it, not Jason. Second. Who was the character's name again?
Damien!
I got them mixed up. I thought Damien was your real name and Jason was your character's name.
No, the other way round.
I got it the way
Clearly,
around.
clearly, Theodis is the most powerful of us all, as he can reach into the real world.
Correspondence 10, maybe.
Breaking the fifth dimension.
I suppose I was going to wait to see what everyone else thought.
I think everybody's waiting for that, so that doesn't really. If you
Yeah.
want to become a group of action, then take the action. Don't hold back. Jeez.
Says the person not really commenting one way or the other.
I already explained. I'm already in a cabal.
Oh, who you with?
I also explained that. Well, okay, fair enough. Was before you entered, but
To be
I'm with
fair,
Minnie and Isaac.
I'm thinking about taking action on that pie over there.
Then do so. Take action. Be swift.
It's very simple, Theodis. There are moments where I get this horrible creeping feeling that I still might be in a coma and I'm just hallucinating all of this. But if it weren't for the fact that I could read books, I wouldn't give that any thought. It doesn't matter. Things are a bit complicated, and I'm sorry that I ruined the moment for you. As for our friend Sunrider here, a very noble sentiment, I have to say so. I am interested, to say the least.
I feel like I've just walked into an anime show.
I assure you, Mr. Carrion, that this is no anime.
That just makes it less appealing, but I am interested.
If that is your desire to think it that way, if it will help y'all in the field and whatnot, then we are anime. Just make sure you have a good opening thing and end it.
Will we have to do poses? Hopefully not.
Yes, you'll be.
I'm Sunrider. I do not do poses.
Oh, thank the gods.
I love this guy.
He is something.
What about you, Miss Cassidy? Your knowledge of the spirits, your ability to heal others will be greatly appreciated.
Maybe. I have some people I need to discuss it with.
You know how to find me. Talk to Kato. I'll be there in the flash.
I thought I was a different superhero.
Who said something?
Nothing. Don't worry.
No, that was out of character. What did she say?
She said, "I thought this was that was a different superhero."
Well then, um, so I guess Sir Damien and Sir Douglas, you're interested?
I am sure.
Thank you.
Yes, I am.
Douglas, come have pie and tea with me.
Tea.
I would
Well,
say at a later point. Oh, please.
what you was going to say? Continue.
I would say at a different date we should probably meet up just one-on-one and hammer out some of the details. That would definitely make it easier for me to say yes or no.
Of course.
Cool. And he sits down and has some roasted eel.
Well then, I should be bidding you all farewell. And he will basically go to the bathroom.
Just kind of looks over at Theodis. At least it looks like the sheep are having fun.
Yes, before he goes, by the way, I'm just going to use Mind Sight on him. Because Theodis is curious about something that he's going to compare and contrast later.
Mm-hmm.
Lol.
He's really just trying to understand the state of Sunrider's mind. As Dice for Aura is like, lol, no, not today. Come on. Do it.
Do I? Yeah, it's being really weird today.
Damien starts sketching the two sheep again.
They are very cute together. Just look at them. Look at them.
Yeah,
Oh.
I'll have to do a crafting roll to see how well Damien sketches and then produce something.
Since I can't actually drink, there's not really a point of me being here.
I don't really understand. Well, no, I do. That's not true.
I don't drink, but I'm still here.
Kato will come back out and be like, "Hey guys."
That's
Hey,
because
Kato.
you, Cassidy, are actually pleasant company.
I'm pleasant company.
Yeah.
Hey, Kato.
Oh. Well, whew. Just had to lay down the big one real quick. But did Sunrider come out here and talk to you guys?
Yeah, he also got some answers.
Cool beans. I think we'll talk about it later.
Yes, Georgie.
What?
He always was a better speaker than me.
How do you intend to go finding alcohol again?
Well, looks like I'll have to. It's just annoying. Like, why would you do that?
Well, how to explain? I am possessed of a certain rather crippling deficiency. And no, it is not the legs, although feel free to jest, I don't mind.
That would be horrible.
I mean, there are horrible people amongst us, so.
If I were to ever fall to this deficiency, I would expect my fellows to force me from it.
You seem
To
to be under
snap.
the assumption that we're fellows.
You will tolerate. You will tolerate someone openly giving into a surmountable weakness?
I mean, everyone has their own demons in their closet. Who am I to judge? And who am I to judge how they cope with it? I'm not gonna impose my will on others.
I'm not.
Done that.
Oh, then give your avatar to someone else. By all means, please. I'll have some. But
What?
Damien just gives Theodos an extremely shifty look. Like, what the fuck?
Cassidy kind of narrows her eyes.
And with that, I'm just going to take my leave. Mm, Time to do some training and whatnot, daily cadres. I'm glad that Sunrider got to speak to you guys. And if you want to get in touch with him, just let me know and I can call him up. Nice meeting you. Nice meeting you all.
Before you go, Kato, I think I'll need some contact details, if you don't mind.
Sure.
And,
Yep. He'll basically give everybody his cell phone number. He'll write it down.
Cheers.
Well, I'm off. Time to train.
Have a good training session.
And he'll basically exit out the door and start jogging. Then turns to a sprint, then full on run.
I had something Theodos was going to say, and I forgot. God damn it.
Well, George is looking at him, and if looks could kill.
Douglas is giving a very similar look to this pie.
You're complaining about me imposing my will over you when you were never applying your will to begin with. There was no will for me to overcome.
Have you even asked?
No.
That's bullshit.
An addiction is not an exertion of the will.
Still a choice. Even if I had an addiction, it is my choice to get rid of it or not yours.
The fact that you're calling an addiction a choice shows your complete lack of understanding in regards to addiction.
It's a
It is
choice
not
to
a choice.
fight against it or not.
Then prove to me that you can fight against it.
Why would I prove anything to you?
To prove to me that it's a choice, to prove me wrong. Of course, I'm not exactly confident I could unweave a spell cast by Master D'Onofrio, but I might make the attempt if you can prove to me that I am wrong.
How can I prove to you that I'm wrong? That you're wrong? Sorry. Wow. How can I prove that you're wrong if the choice is already made for me and I have no choice but to fucking fight it?
You know, that actually brings up an interesting question. The very fact that you're talking about fighting against an addiction suggests that addiction is not in and of itself a choice. Because in reality, the choice would be choosing to drink an
Oh,
alcoholic
that's
beverage or
fucking
not.
bullshit. Really?
It is.
No. I mean, that's saying if I were to fight terrorists, that terrorists don't have a choice of being terrorists. Because I fight it.
No, because terrorism is not even remotely comparable to an addiction.
It's still something you fight.
That is both mentally and physically compelling.
Well, trust me, people who become terrorists found it very mentally compelling.
This is true. Many terrorists are often indoctrinated into their beliefs, and to an extent we are all conditioned. Society leaves its mark.
That happens when you get socialized into a society.
If it weren't for society, well, it's possible we wouldn't have any choice at all. But still.
Why does it always end with a philosophic debate with you?
Oh, I'm a very argumentative man.
Yeah, you also don't have really much else.
Ouch, that was a bit of a low blow, wasn't it?
Well, to be fair, I am kind of useless from the waist down.
Really
But
now?
he does laugh.
Finishes his lighter, just wondering like
This
what
is-
the.
This is very self-depreciating, so he does laugh.
Just kind of eyeing him just a little bit.
But my point stands. I don't even know why you're asking me to fix it. Surely, if you are strong enough, you could resolve this yourself, and you could simply take back your choice.
I'm asking you to fix it because you created the problem.
I didn't even create it, to be honest.
Yes, you did. By implying there was a problem.
Are you to tell me
You
that addiction
did
is not a
not.
problem?
You did not even bother to check with me. You just took an assumption based on your own beliefs and you dealt with it.
Are you to tell me that if I simply asked whether it would be okay with you to prevent you from drinking alcohol for a set period of time, that you'd be magically okay with it, given that you are suffering from an addiction?
I would be more okay with having an argument about it.
Well, yes, because the argument would not lead to action, it would not go anywhere,
Well, right now it's not leading to any action.
because the action has already been taken.
Gee, you and Sunrider should become best friends.
Hmm.
Why are
That's
you forcing me to become something that I'm not?
because it's not you.
It is me.
No. That which may have led you to your addiction is you, perhaps. But the addiction is not.
The accident may have led to you being crippled. Wait, does she know that it's an accident? Well, whatever.
No.
No, she does not. The thing that happened to you may have led to you becoming crippled. It is still part of you. It makes you who you are. Things that have happened change who you are. You deal with that in a way that you feel fit. Now, you may have become a better person out of it.
Would
Hurrah.
hmm.
Your addiction is a parasitic shadow of yourself, a weakness to be overcome.
What do you know about weaknesses or overcoming things even?
When... Do you know who Aisha is?
I've heard it mentioned a few times, but no one really bothered to explaining anything to me.
vampire trying to end the world.
I unraveled one of his rituals once. So he broke into my house, opened up my mind like an eggshell, and forced it into the outside. So now I'm not only physically crippled, I'm also possessed of a broken mind as well. The one thing I could draw my pride from, the one thing I could draw strength from, broken at the snap of another's fingers.
So
Just
how are
like
you
my
dealing with
accidents.
it?
I still choose to walk in spite of the pain. I still choose to develop my mind, my abilities, my understanding, in spite of the fact that it may destroy me, that it may kill me. Because
People
then I can
might
shed it. I can shed that weakness.
people might say it's denial, though.
Perhaps. Perhaps these are weaknesses I cannot overcome, but that is not going to stop me. That is why when I see drinking makes me so angry and sad. Because I
Well,
see
because
someone
you
who...
have more strength of will than I have.
No,
Well,
because I see someone...
congratulations.
Because I see someone who's given up.
So,
And I
look the other
hate
way.
that.
Well, that's fine. You won't be the only one hating me.
I don't hate you. I hate your addiction as much as I hate my fear, as much as I hate this. And he takes his cane, he taps his shin with it, and it obviously causes him a great deal of pain. He taps it pretty hard against himself, for the record. Like, it's a pretty good flick.
Yet I remember a conversation you had with someone else who offered to heal you, where you said you had to do it on your own.
Yes.
Then why do you take that away from me?
I'm not stopping you from conquering your addiction on your own.
You're forcing a change on
In
me
a
that I
way,
did
you
not
did.
ask.
I have not ended your addiction.
No, you're just forcing her to quit cold turkey.
I'm forcing that decision upon her. That is true. Because ultimately, one day, be it tomorrow or a year from now or a few months, the spell will simply end. And you can simply go back to drinking.
And if someone took your choice and healed your legs without your consent?
But only for a year and a day.
Do you know what I would do if someone healed my legs?
No, what would you do?
I would go to Lord Sisho and ask him to break them again.
Damien just starts sewing, tries to avoid eye contact with Theatus, and is feeling obviously very uncomfortable.
couldn't understand anything after Lord Saisho, so I don't know how Georgie is going to
He
respond.
literally says he'd go up to Lord Saisho and say, "Break my legs." If not, well, I could easily do the damage myself, I suppose.
And you're taking that away from her.
In what way? Again, I have not healed her. I literally cannot do that.
To be fair, I think Cassidy could. Seriously, dude? Hush.
Still, there's a difference. I could break your legs. Like, in all honesty, Damien, Cassidy, and this guy, Douglas, I heard, they can
Yay,
all
you remembered
break
me.
your leg.
Oh, most of you could, yes.
But I cannot change water into wine or into whiskey.
You could always learn. Just as how I seek to learn how to heal my broken body and my addled mind.
Still, you're trying to overcome something. I am not. You and I are not the same. Your choices are not mine. And you don't have the right to make my choices for me.
You were never making a choice to begin with.
Says you. That depends on your view of what a choice is.
In that case, choice is simply meaningless, in which case you shouldn't be complaining.
You really don't know when to quit, right?
Nope.
You really
He
don't know.
doesn't. He's a stubborn ass.
And you really don't know when to admit that you're wrong.
No, he's far too arrogant for that.
To an extent. But again, I don't see how me preventing you from giving in to a compulsion is removing agency. This isn't a choice. Addiction is not a choice. It never has been.
Yes,
Far
it
be
is.
it for me to fall back on conventional.
No, it is a choice. Like, take a heroin addict. Sure, it's not a fair choice. It's not a hard choice. But every time someone sticks a needle in their arm, they make a choice. They choose to do that. They choose to not fight it.
Ask an addict.
No, no. They can deny that it's a choice, but in the end, they have the option to stop. It's not a pretty option. It's not a fair option. It's not a fair fight. And they might lose it 100 times over before they can actually get themselves cleaned up. Cleansed up? Cleaned up? Whatever. But in the end, they do have a choice.
What's the truth ring spell? The one which determines truth. Can't remember what it's called. What level is it in sphere-wise?
Dude, I don't know.
Damn it. Is it
Mine
like
2 or 3, I think.
if it's mine 2, I can do it. If it's mine 3.
Is it located anywhere in a book?
God, why is it 187% wide? Let me see if I can find it. Okay, yeah, it's a mind one, so I can do it. Oh god, I have to rely on dice roll being cooperative too.
I mean, you
Okay.
really don't want me to roll for you. Trust me.
I'm just gonna roll it. Can you look on our mask Orlando for me, Shana, so I can just make this goddamn roll. Oh no, it's not working there either. It's not working anywhere. Fuck. Let me.
That's because you rolled it in Dublin again.
Yeah, but I didn't see it working in. I'm just gonna roll it in on mask Orlando. It's not working there either.
It was working earlier.
It just stopped. I'm just gonna roll in Wolsey. It's a difficulty 4 check, so it's not like it matters. Just gonna make a repeat. I will screen share for the purposes of fairness, because I'm using an outside dice roller now to deal with this bullshit. Screen share. Nope. Wrong screen share. Okay, yeah, I can discern truth from lies for like the scene. Can everyone see it? Can everyone see the roll?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay. Then you're going to promise to me that you're going to fight it, Georgie.
Why?
Because then you're making a choice.
And what if I choose not to fight it?
I would be unable to discern whether that was you making a choice, or whether it's simply the addiction compelling you.
So?
It has frustrated me that this entire room seems to think that a substance controlling somebody's actions is somehow them making a choice.
It's frustrating to me that you're trying to influence my lifestyle.
Well, I'm sorry.
No, you're not.
I'm really not.
Cassidy has been mucking around with a mortar and pestle for the last couple of minutes and, brings a little jar over to Georgie. Drink a little bit of this with water. Every day, it'll help with the withdrawals. It's just
She'll
ginseng,
take it.
vitamin B, a couple other things.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Cassidy. It's
It'll also help with the cravings.
like I'm gonna need it. Because there's no way I can change any of this. Well, karma is a bitch.
You're a mage. You can change anything.
Doesn't feel like it sometimes.
I mean, if you really believe that, then your mind wouldn't be broken anymore and your legs would be healed. Because you're
But
a
I
mage.
can change that. That's exactly what I'm working towards doing.
Ah, so you can't yet. You're working towards it, which means there's a difference between mages.
Whoever
You
said
know,
change came
skill.
easy?
You seem to imply that me being a mage means that I can literally already do everything. At the same time, you're saying that we need to
No.
work towards stuff. Yes, you did. You
I'm
just
not
did.
saying you can snap your fingers and all of your problems will go away. If that were the case, we would never be having this conversation at all. We wouldn't be arguing. You wouldn't have an addiction to begin with. It would simply be gone.
Unless I chose it to be there.
Why do you want to hurt yourself?
None of your goddamn business. Why are you so eager to help?
I'll say this, Theodis. If I didn't have the experiences I did, I might have resorted to the same thing. Because sometimes the things that we see, the things we go through, they change us. Sometimes for the better, sometimes not.
Damien,
Yes?
I know you've heard the number.
So have I.
Yeah. It was hard to avoid.
Say it.
Out of character, 17, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Damien looks at her, and in the first instance, it seems as if he really doesn't want to do it, but looks her straight in the eyes, and then says, 17 confirmed kills.
Thank you. And thank you, Cassidy, for this.
She's just
Seems
going
like
to come over and give her a hug.
Oh, she's gonna step away.
She would hold her hands up if she steps away.
Georgie?
She turns around. She's near the door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's sometimes hard to really see ourselves. Sometimes people who are outside of our shell have a better look. I'd just like you to know that even with what you might or might not have gone through, I see good in you. I think you should try to see a little bit of good in yourself as well.
I have a lot of good to do if I want to make up for all that.
Where
See you
there's
guys
life, there's hope. Bye.
And yeah, Georgie will walk out.
Cassidy's just going to sigh softly, kind of rubbing her forearm.
Theodis, for his part, his cane is almost drilling into the ground. Like it's very, there's a lot of pressure being applied to it against the floor. Every time he moves, you can kind of hear the kind of clacking sound it makes.
You know, you can come over and sit down.
I think I will.
Don't worry, I don't bite.
I don't either. Much.
Unfortunately, I do.
Can't say I've ever seen you bite. She's just kind of rinsing out the mortar and pestle.
Why reinforce that worldview? Why reframe substance addiction as a choice?
An addicted mind isn't always a rational one.
Well, no, that's the point.
Sometimes you have to let them come to it on their own.
And how long had she been addicted to drink?
I haven't known her very long, so I couldn't say. I will say her liver's in surprisingly good shape. Better than maybe better than anyone else in this room. I haven't looked at any of you under life sight.
Yeah, this literally can't.
I wouldn't have noticed.
Well, it was a. We decided to look at her under life sight just to see, you know.
No. Perfectly understandable.
Because we can tell that kind of thing. And I was rather shocked, I suppose.
It's not that I couldn't do it. I simply didn't bother because private sphere and stuff like that. It's beside the point. I'm just rambling again.
But yes, Theodis, your intentions were good. But
Wulu and Mary are sad that their masters are fighting. Oh no.
Cassie's just gonna reach down and pat the Mareep.
Likewise to the Wulu.
A purely out of character question. Are Pokemon a thing in our universe?
Not really, they're just familiars.
Understood.
It's just a sheep that looks a lot like a Wooloo.
No problem. So yeah, very interesting familiars. They're definitely cuter than I expected.
I don't know how I got mine. It just started following me on the street once I chased after Georgie. She tried to, challenge Lord Saisho, and you're aware of that whole mess.
Oh, and I thought in the old tales that you had to make like a contract with them, but then again, maybe that was artistic license.
Mine also just kind of started following me this afternoon, actually.
Perhaps as a pattern. Perhaps we could perform. With your permission, I may perform some entropic ritual on both of our familiars to see if there's some sort of link between them.
They do seem to quite like each other.
I could give them a look under entropic sight if you guys want to. That's one of the few things I'm really good at.
By all means, just
Go ahead.
ask
Fair.
him, and he'll PM you the results later, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you'll have to roll at a later date because, the dice rollers being...
Yeah.
Fuck.
No. We'll just assume that Damien does the roll. He has a look at the two, and probably he'll just have a bit of a puzzled look on his face and say, I'll tell you guys later once I've processed the data. Yeah.
By all means.
I like to think a bit on stuff like that before I give an analysis. Deeper thought can allow you to pick up smaller details.
Douglas, you're being quiet.
Oh, sorry.
Enjoying our food, I take it.
Yes.
To be fair, the grilled eel was delicious.
I know, I didn't really expect it to be like that. But then again, I've never tried it.
It's almost as good as that grilled eel I once had in Japan, Nagasaki. Yeah, good student year.
Oh, decent.
No, thank you.
I know.
As she picks up one of her fries off of the plate with her half-eaten veggie burger.
Yeah. Whew. Interesting evening so far. Might. Oh well, I'll just come out with it. If anyone has any questions or wonders about my person or what I might have done in the past,
Oh,
I'd be
I believe
more
you.
than I'd be more than willing to talk about that since, well, we weren't in a car with a cyber terrorist and the usual shenanigans, since things are a bit calmer now.
I assume you're talking about what Iscariot revealed.
Oh yeah, absolutely. God, like a real life smiling man.
I'm sorry, what happened?
Oh, Jason here's a smuggler.
Who's that Jason you're referring to? My
Oh,
name
God
is
damn it.
Damien.
Damien, shut up!
Yes.
I wish I were so glamorous as a Han Solo, but no. I think... Okay, to put it very simply, back in Germany, when I'd more or less just awoken, I was trying to find a specific kind of stone that was, as far as I know, involved in my awakening. The legal let's just say the reputable channels in antiques or maybe special rocks and similar, wasn't yielding anything. And on the one hand, yes, very stupid of me, but on the other hand, it would later on bring me here to Dublin, which has actually turned out to be quite gainful for the most part. Anyway, via the black market, I got into contact with one nine-fingered Tam from the Dubliner Shinzen-gui, and it seemed as if he could get me more information on that, but wanted something in return. Now, it wasn't smuggling itself, but he wanted me to check up several items, antiquities, that he had acquired. But back then, I didn't even know that Shinzen-gumi was under the control of Lord Saisho. That would come later. So I verified the 3 antiques. It turned out that they were genuine antiques. I was able to give him the information he wanted, and he gave me the address for the auction where I acquired the animatronic heart and discovered the vampires are real. Anyway, and basically...
All didn't give that away at all.
Mhm.
The one trying to end the world didn't give that away at all.
What exactly are you referring to?
The fact that, Aishar, big bad, trying to end the world, also a vampire.
I didn't know that. I guess that, well, doesn't. Okay. Good to know, I guess. But no, I wasn't aware of Aisha or anything else. Hell, it was only after the auction that I bumped into here the Green Dragon and met a few of the local mages, and that was my starting off point of figuring things out here. So yeah, I have been involved in that case with Nine Finger Tam, a criminal. I'm not proud of the fact, but I wouldn't call myself a smuggler. I have not physically smuggled any antiques for him. That I can say with a good conscience. However, I've got the feeling that I'm probably being set up as the fall guy so that Tam can probably deflect attention from himself to me.
Well, of course, he doesn't want to lose another finger.
Yeah. Well, that was definitely short-sightedness on my part, and the only thing I can do now is try and figure out how I deal with that.
You control fate, don't you?
I think the term that you would understand is I'm in the third tier in the sphere of entropy.
Third circle.
Yes. I can literally let chaos rip if I wish to do so.
My apologies, Douglas. I interrupted you.
I was simply just going to make a comment that doesn't actually provide anything to the conversation per usual.
She would just kind of ruffle Douglas's hair.
But yeah, I was gonna simply say that Eight Fingers Tam sounds nowhere near as cool.
I guess so.
To be fair, neither does 10 fingers. That sounds remarkably mundane.
Yeah. I mean, 9's intimidating. 8, you're starting to take it a bit far.
Yeah. Something I've recently realized might have been a logical fallacy on my part, and maybe you guys can illuminate me on that one. In the old stories, there are always mention of the true name of a being, of people, of mages, and that if a different entity, let's say for the sake of argument a devil, were to know my true name, he could do horrible things to me. But I'm still not quite sure if with that my Christian name is meant, the one I was born with, the one my parents gave me, if it's something else. Let's just say I've been working under a slight alias so far.
That's fine. Names are important. You don't want people to know your true name.
I was going to say, I'll let the Hermetic explain it.
True name, well. A true name is a combination of your existence, your history, and your identity. In a sense, your true name is
a description of
on a conceptual level.
A description of who the person is.
It is still expressed in a series of sounds, but also in it's It's a combination of sounds and concepts, but you can speak it. It may not fit within the vocal range of a human, however. It could be that, for example, the true name of some spiritual entity is the joyful laughter of specifically 12 children.
I see. I see. Yeah. Then I've definitely been working under a wrong assumption.
Your true name is innate to you. It's something you may not know it, but you do have it.
It might even be better for me not to know it, at least for a time being.
For someone to have your true name is for them to exert a great deal of power over you. If I were to cast a spell upon you and invoke your name, that spell would be magnified in its strength and effect. Well, and its and in the precision of its effect. It could just outright destroy you, depending on my intent.
That is even... Sorry.
To possess your true name means I could empower you to incredible degrees or end you. I exaggerate slightly. For spirits, this is very much the case. For humans, it's a bit more complex. It doesn't necessarily destroy you, it just makes you very vulnerable. But in any case, I would hold a great deal of power over you. It's holding your identity, your history, your life in the palm of my hands. It would be very easy to just clench my fist around it, as it were.
Like the concept of a story. You guys have no reference for what I'm referring to.
Yes.
I came across a glyph that meant story, but also is associated with powerful spirits. That's why I made the... How do you call it in English? Free form thought jump, something in that direction. Now that is something that entropy is actually really good at. I'm still looking into that, but it can allow you make connections that a rational thought process won't allow you. However, you might come across sounding like a madman. So
that is the problem with.
So yeah, I'll just say that the family name I've been using is not the one I was born with.
That's entirely fine. Many mages go under aliases. In fact, my tradition has made a habit of it. We actually acquire more names as we progress in power.
I see. However, I can guarantee you guys, I am actually called Damien.
That's quite alright.
I mean, I grew up in foster care. My last name changed more than... Well, it changed a lot.
If I may...
May what?
I wish to address a topic which I believe made you all very uncomfortable.
Okay.
I believe in reference to Georgie's avatar.
Think that made everyone in the room a little uncomfortable.
My point behind it was that if one will simply not use their power for any reason, they do not deserve to possess it. It should be handed to someone who will use it. It is, in my opinion, the most selfish and evil thing a person can do.
Except our avatar is an integral part of what and who we are.
As far as I've been able to find out in all the old texts, the avatar joins with a potential mage at the point of birth.
You see, that's true, but it is also true that the avatar can be separated from the person. In fact,
I'm actually a bit horrified to hear that that's even possible.
Really? I believe you've seen it.
Out of character when?
At the auction.
No, he didn't have
Was he
the
not?
right sides up for that. He would just go, I wasn't aware that that was happening at the auction. To be fair, I was just trying not to. I basically felt like one sheep in a flock of wolves, bears, and other nasties. So I was a bit more fixated on getting out there alive.
An avatar was bid upon. One was offered in its totality. One was offered in part, and was sacrificed for a great cause.
Ach du heilige Scheiße. For those who understand German or have a related language, oh holy shit.
Dr. Energon sacrificed a portion of his avatar to obtain something of immense importance.
I was not aware of that. Thank you for the information.
If you wish to discuss it with him, go ahead. I have great respect for him. He sacrificed a part of himself for something he believed to be very important to him and others.
I don't think I could have done the same.
I
Okay.
may have, but then I didn't understand the importance of what he was obtaining.
I was a bit preoccupied with the fact that they were selling souls. Probably in that process, I didn't quite catch on the other.
Well, if a soul can be bought, if a soul can be sold, why not an avatar? A soul is arguably even more powerful and dangerous.
This is above my pay grade.
To be fair, souls are a lot more common. I suppose an avatar would be more valuable based on scarcity alone. It's actually interesting we talk about the auction, because I believe there was that one moment where the auctioneer, Rumpelstiltskin, was given back his name for an item. A fantastic example
Yes.
of how...
Yeah, he couldn't shut up about it while he was taking my memories as part of the payment for a different item.
A fantastic example of how a name gives one power. I believe it literally changed his form, certainly altered him substantially. To what extent, I'm not aware.
I can at least say that he definitely had more of a kick in his step and seemed more vibrant, if that's any good description.
I suppose, like anything, being removed of your true name is like having a part of yourself stripped away. In some cases, it can be the entirety of yourself. Again, it depends on what you are. For him, I believe it was more substantial than it would be for us, but it would still be, well, damning for us in any case.
Yeah. I guess what I wanted to say before was simply it didn't feel right lying to people, but I was just trying to keep myself safe. Under other circumstances, I would have loved to have been honest from the very beginning.
I was quite comfortable there, but then again, I was sitting next to D'Onofrio, so...
I mean, when you sit next to your mentor, that does give you a certain confidence boost.
Sitting next to an archmage in general.
I guess I had a very weak version of that while I was doing research with the professor back in my non-mage days. He was a bit of a how do you call it? He was definitely an expert and a reasonably well-known fellow in the field of archaeology, but I wouldn't be able to compare that to what you guys have there. Yeah. And Damien continues
Very true.
sewing.
After all, you've got Douglas there, who is apprenticed to Master Siren.
Who rose from the dead, still processing that.
Thanks to Christina, yes, and her use of the vial of true love.
That was quite an evening, yes. I was there.
I still have no idea
I
what
was
to do
also
with
there.
the watch.
And people want to say magic can't do anything.
Who says that?
True love is, well, a powerful magic that is all its own.
You know, when it's stated like that, it sounds almost quaint. It's strange.
Well, we live in a cynical age.
This is
Most
true.
things sound quaint.
True, I am very.
And then, of course, your mentor is D'Onofrier, so
Who has amply shown her capabilities and probably even only a small amount of them.
I must
and
say,
then my mentor Merlin.
Definitely looking forward to the meeting.
I would love one day, if I survive for long enough, to see, to compare our strength and our understanding. That'd be interesting to me.
Sorry, what was that? My son decided that he was going to pull my headphones off.
Theodis effectively implied, man, if I survive long enough, I'd love to duel him one day and also read some of his books. That'd be nice too. Is basically what he said.
I mean, you did anger him just a little.
Oh well. Still, I'd love to discuss matters with him. I find his worldview to be very interesting. Many cosmic entities are very interesting in alien worldviews to me. Granted, I wonder if I could even understand about rewiring my mind first.
The sphere of minds has its upsides. Still, I would caution wariness.
I remember when I was exposed to the void, my mind shield did nothing to protect me.
Good to know. So mine will probably not work either. Bollocks.
Perhaps it affected my soul and worked its way into my mind, or perhaps my mind simply wasn't equipped to comprehend what I was witnessing. Ergo, it broke my mind. It wasn't that it was attacking my mind, rather that the very act of seeing, of understanding, damaged my mind.
Almost like in an old poem I once read. Yeah, where the sheer immensity. It's basically the story of somebody who suddenly gets the ability to see all creation, and it's just too much for his mind, and it leaves him mentally wounded. Maybe something similar to that happened.
All the more reason to match the scale of that which I face.
Yeah. So, what did you guys think of Sunrider, or that aspect of Mr. Musashi?
Curious man. didn't get a chance to scan his mind post and pre-transformation.
Hmm.
He's curious, an oddity.
He reminds me of those old Japanese live-action superhero group things I used to watch as a kid.
Well, he reminds me of a Power Ranger, but there you go, that's just me.
Yeah, there we go. I'd forgotten the word. Can't say I've ever come across a mage like that before.
My favourite was the Blue Ranger.
Wasn't the first green one convicted for murder or something rather atrocious?
Wait, what?
Yes, I believe the original Green Ranger was convicted of murder about a decade or so later.
Damien will give you a quote of the season and episode, and then also the things that connect to that about it. That one by any chance?
I believe so.
Oh boy, my weeb is showing.
Cassidy's just shaking her head like, oh, what have I gotten myself into?
That is weird.
Cassidy hands Douglas a fresh cup of tea.
Tea.
If it helps, I actually...
Here. Damien, would you like a cup?
Actually, yes, I'm quite parched. Thank you.
Theodis?
Sure, why not?
She'd go over and get 2 more cups of hot water.
Her teas are amazing. Come to think of it, I still need to get the jasmine off you.
Yes, you do.
See, this is physical proof that everything in the world, absolutely everything, stops for tea.
She would set 2 cups with a pinkish liquid in front of them. Rose and hibiscus.
Never had that before. Interesting.
It's just the one I happen to have on me today.
It smells tranquil.
Accurate.
Theodis begins playing with the tea. As in, it literally, he begins to stir it and then just kind of stops. Then he looks a little bit idle, and then the tea starts kind of, droplets of it start rising up from the teacup.
Oh dear. Theodis, what are you doing?
Exercising.
She's going to reach down and pat the Mareep again.
It's filthy, but it has a lot of static. You get a slight static shock.
Still not used to that.
Maybe,
Yours is cuddleable.
maybe you should get something to earth it. Maybe then it won't shock you.
It's like Wooloo's gotten like really fuzzy just by being near Mareep. It's just like a giant. It was a giant ball of fluff before. Now it is a blimp of fluff. But
yours is cuddleable. Mine is not.
It's not a competition. Both of them are absolutely adorable.
I was going to say, anything's cuddly if you try hard enough.
This is true.
I mean, you are welcome to try and cuddle it. It will shock you.
Perhaps if Georgie were more cuddly, she'd be more amenable.
She swats his chest. Be nice.
I'm sure if we all went to hug her at the same time, she couldn't stop us all.
Would you guys mind if I try petting them?
By all means.
Go ahead.
Okay. Damien will slowly move closer. First, put out an outstretched fist, not strongly clenched, so that they can have a good sniff.
The Mareep sniffs.
Then he slowly opens the hand in a clear gesture that he would like to pet it.
The Mareep will extend its head for pets.
He pats it.
And you get a little static shock.
The static shock obviously goes through Damien, but he doesn't make any face. No. And pets it a bit and goes, "Boy, aren't you kawaii?"
I mean, look at it.
and scratches it behind its ear horn thingies. Just that spot.
And it just makes little noises, little squeaks.
Lulu demands more pats.
Okay. After that, Damien turns around to Wulu and repeats the process.
Wooloo does not give static shocks. It is very floofy. It makes cute Wooloo sounds.
Damien gives it basically the equivalent of a head massage.
It looks very happy. Although it does look back to Theodis for a moment and looks curious, maybe even slightly concerned. As people have, like, maybe Theodis has just kind of been messing with his tea. He's just been telekinetically shifting it into different shapes.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like when he stopped Georgie from drinking.
Yeah, Damien will notice that, give Wulu just another scratch behind the ears, and then go back to his place, to his seat.
Theodis, the shapes are like initially quite natural. It's like, oh, it's grass, it's a bird, it's a rock, it's a lizard, it's a bear, it's a cuddly toy, it's a Wooloo. It's a Mareep. It's a Mareep and a Wooloo together. Changes into a face. But like it becomes increasingly formless and eerie, and there's like an eerie amount of detail to the grotesquerie of it as it and its formlessness.
Theodis, are you alright?
It is getting a little eerie, the designs, I mean, and Damien vaguely points at the tea.
Yeah, Theodis looks notably uneasy as he goes through these shapes. It's weird, he looks oddly braced for it. He's kind of just tapping the table. And he kind of holds the shapes for set periods of time before they dissipate. Then he simply downs the tea in one go.
Theodis, was that a ritual you just pulled off?
No. Just exercising. It's like, how to say, it's like Quite a fact, more of exercise one does in a chair.
Ah, okay.
But for the mind as opposed to the body.
I mean, don't get me wrong, it was very nice and very detailed, and it actually got even more detailed as it progressed. It was just the symbols, shapes, figures, I guess, were just becoming a bit eerie. I've recently learned to listen to my gut instinct a bit more.
I suppose that depends on whether or not you're heading inside the place.
Quite true.
You mean to confront Aishar?
Yep.
Not just Aisha, those other things. I need to crash course myself at every opportunity.
Well, if an opening presents itself, I'll be hurtling into there, may be my oblivion or not.
Good, you're braver than most people.
I've been accused of that before. Though there's a thin line between bravery and folly, I have to confess.
A fine line, but I haven't seen you cross it.
Thank you. I'll take any win that I can get.
As should we all. Theodus pats the Marip.
He also gets a static shock.
Hey, guess what? Guess what Theodus has?
You know what? Shut up.
He has a Force's shield. Ah.
Shut up.
He will absorb the power of the Marip,
Mm.
and he will gift it to the Wooloo. Our one true overlord. He will just pat the Marip.
Well, should I ever be so lucky that something even halfway as adorable might start following me, I'd count myself lucky.
It's true. I don't think I'll be taking my dear little friend here into the void with me. Seems an ill,
Cruel and unusual punishment, I would say.
yeah, a place poorly suited to such a lovely creature. He'll pat his Wooloo.
Indeed.
I wonder if they're manifestations of the greater subconscious, or if they are a different kind of spirit altogether.
I know it doesn't think like me. It's very fuzzy. He says with a very fuzzy Wooloo.
Damien smiles.
Even its thoughts are fluffy.
It's almost like fluff incarnated.
Well, I'm glad to see we have such fluffy friends together.
If that was an innuendo, I didn't get it. Or maybe it wasn't. Bizarre.
It's okay, I'm a very cold fish. You're not missing out on anything.
English is just not my first language, mate. So stuff like that sometimes just flies over my head.
It's quite alright.
However, should you ever need somebody who understands German well, or need something translated, let me know. I know. A very odd offer.
It's appreciated.
Though, from what I understand, you're quite good at languages yourself.
I wish to understand every language there is to know. Then there will be nothing I cannot understand.
This Enochian, I've been hearing people talking about. I think it's sometimes referred to as the first speech.
Yes.
Would you happen to know if the Great Library of Dublin might have a section on that? I wouldn't want to bother you and ask you to teach me, but if you could maybe point me in the right direction, I might be able to teach myself.
I'll double check. I know I have a book on it somewhere.
And sorry.
Oh, sorry. No, I'll double check. I know I have a book on it somewhere. I believe the library may as well, but there are plenty of tutors in town.
I just thought it might be smart for me to stock up on languages, especially not so common ones. And yeah, which reminds me, Cassidy, if you can still stand the sight of me, would you be willing to teach me some Old Norse?
I would.
To be fair, it's closer to Old German than what I speak with my parents and my fellows. So, yeah, strange how divorced we are to a certain extent from our past, and yet not. And I'm rambling again. Sorry.
It happens.
I just find myself in a world with so many new impressions, new ways of seeing things, information that has thrown my worldview topsy-turvy, left and right, and put it through a prisma. So, how should I say? It's beautiful and terrifying, and I'm quite enjoying the magic and wonder that this world has regained for me.
I think Saskia wants to go to bed soon.
No problem.
So I think we can end the scene there. If that's all everybody has to say.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So I'd say we let the evening roll out.
And in that case, thank you players for playing, and thank you watchers for watching, and see you all again in Darkness in Dublin. Bye bye.